What's going on, everybody? Brian here from Brian's Broadcast. I hope all of you are doing fantastic. Welcome to another fragrance review, and this time once again from the house of George Zaharoff. Now, this fragrance was part of the Z Creators line, which was released back in 2021, and 3 people were part of the team. Collaboration, basically. So one of them was Ross from TLTG Fragrance Reviews, the other one was Justin Copeland, and the third person was Curly Scents. Now, basically, I did not pay attention. I was not paying attention to the house of Zaharoff back then. So I was kind of confused, should I buy it or not? Because once again, these were limited release fragrances, and once they were done, it was done. Basically a limited edition thing. So all this time I've been wondering, once I got started with the Zaharoff line, I was like, shit, I missed that opportunity. And then the prices started skyrocketing. People on eBay, Facebook groups, they were hustling like crazy. And by the end of this video, I'm gonna tell you a little secret, a little story, a magnificent story, which I really want to share with you guys. So let's get started with this fragrance. The fragrance name is The Siren. Look at this beautiful boozy juice. It's got a golden cap. So again, this fragrance is phenomenal. A lot of people complain about it. Some say it's nothing special, but again, it's subjective. But I personally found this fragrance to be really, really pleasing. So let me read out the notes to you. So they've got coriander, cardamom, almond, and ginger on the top. In the midst, they've got leather, dark chocolate, coffee, moss. And on the base, they got Lauranox, something I'm going to tell you about, cognac, patchouli, and bourbon vetiver. Now, guys, this fragrance was a collaboration between Curly Scents. This fragrance, when I sprayed it, the thing is I missed it out, and you might be wondering how the hell did you get it after all these days? So a very good person on Facebook was basically he had a change in taste for fragrances, so he was shifting to something else, and whatever fragrances he had in his collection, he sold it off. I saw this fragrance, The Siren. I saw this fragrance, immediately asked him, and look at the level. I've been using it 2-3 sprays at a time, but I've been using it really on special occasions. But then again, up front, I'm going to tell you, this is definitely not a summer-friendly fragrance. This is for the winter, fall to winter, cooler months. Up front, cooler month fragrance, definitely not for the summer heat. In New York City, it's been burning everything. So this person sold it off at a really good price, but it was without a box. So I was really unfortunate because I was thinking, whoa, that's a limited edition fragrance, and there's no box to it. But again, who cares? As long as I'm getting almost a brand new fragrance, brand new bottle, because he said he sprayed only 2 or 3 times. That's it. He just left it as is. You can tell by the level. You can just tell right away. So guys, when I first sprayed this fragrance, there is this beautiful, captivating essence to it. It's something really mysterious. It's dark, and it's got a beautiful character to it. Now, don't be under the impression that a girl created or composed this fragrance and then it's not gonna be usable by men. No, it's absolutely wrong. They're perfumers. I mean, again, although she's a reviewer, but she got the chance to create her own fragrance under a particular house. So of course, she tried her best to create something which would be usable by everybody. And I would personally say this fragrance, the Siren, is a bit more masculine leaning as opposed to something that's pretty much unisex or slightly feminine leaning. I would say this is pretty much masculine leaning. Why? Because the moment you first spray this, there's this beautiful smoothness to it. This fragrance has absolutely stunning blending in this. Beautiful. It's so beautifully done. There's absolutely no sharp edges. Nothing hurts your nose. I mean, nothing will offend you in this particular fragrance. Now, when it starts off, the smoothness from the cardamom and the beautiful smoothness from the coriander and the almond, basically when it starts off, a smoothness, a spicy smoothness with that slightly roasted, although it doesn't say roasted almond, but the thing is I I see here it just says pretty much clearly that it's plain almond and there's ginger to it. Now, guys, let me tell you, the almond over here, it feels kind of like, it gives you that nutty feeling, but the thing is like feels mildly roasted almond. It's not like the raw, not like the bitter almond. There's a mild creaminess to it, and then there's this beautiful slightly burned or maybe slightly roasted kind of almond. And the ginger, what does the ginger do? It gives you that mild, slightly effervescent but yet a warm, refreshing, inviting feeling. That's the opening. And the projection, let me tell you something. When I say this thing is not summer friendly, it's because of two reasons. One, it becomes very cloying when it starts heating up, your body starts heating up. And number two, because of the density, because of its character, because of the dark notes in it, this thing will not last on your skin. It's not going to perform as much in the summer or in the heat as opposed to in the cooler temperatures. Now, why do I say that? Because like in the office, when I tried this fragrance, it was very cold inside. The air conditioning is pretty chilled up. It was performing like a monster. And believe me on this, I mean, a lot of you might be coming up and saying, hey, this thing didn't perform on me. But the thing is, like, probably you were not paying attention, but this is a dark fragrance. It's not meant for summer. 100% it's not for the summer. Now, as it starts drying down, you get this beautiful hint of leather, dark chocolate, coffee, and musk. This is the most interesting part. Now, if you guys know, I always keep on complaining about how I really miss Givenchy's Very Irresistible for Men. This was a beautiful coffee, chocolate, and nutty hazelnut kind of mix. It was so nice, but they discontinued this fragrance a long time back. But I really miss this fragrance, and anytime I see a combination of dark chocolate or plain chocolate and coffee, I just try and grab that fragrance because I still search for the DNA, that particular fragrance. I try to find it in everything. That's how much I loved that fragrance, but unfortunately it's gone. Now on the mids, once the Siren starts drying down, guys, the leather over here, it gives you kind of that animalic kind of feel. And it's extremely smooth. I would say maybe, some form of suede or supple leather. It's so smooth. Freaking smooth. And the coffee and dark chocolate, again, the chocolate here is not one of the bitter dark chocolate. It's just that there's a depth to it. There's like a subdued kind of darkness to the chocolate. That's what the chocolate is here for. And the coffee is mind-blowing. Why do I say that? Because the coffee almost smells like if you go to a coffee shop and they probably put in that fresh roasted coffee, they just grounded it, and this thing started mixing your drink, and then the smell, the aroma is wafting out. That's the kind of coffee you get from this fragrance. So imagine the beautiful morning coffee, the first fresh blend of that brew just wafting out into the air with a hint of dark chocolate, which is not bitter, but this beautiful depth and awesome chocolatey vibe. Fantastic feeling, absolutely stunning. Now, they say they got moss over here, but I don't know, maybe my nose does not catch up any moss, but maybe it's to give you that slightly earthy kind of feel, like something that connects you to this natural kind of vibe to it, like a really earthy one, but I don't get any moss. Now, as it dries down further, as it hits the base note, there is something called Lornox. So basically, this is an artificial component used in the fragrances that gives you that woody, ambery, slightly smoky kind of vibe. So that's a man-made thing, of course. So many notes over here are man-made, but then again, like this one in particular was created for that specific purpose. So you get woody, slightly smoky, but an ambery kind of feel. So basically, as it dries down, you're hitting that dry kind of sensation. Once again, this fragrance by no means has any kind of succulent or juicy component in here. absolutely dry. So basically, it's going from mildly, I would say, gourmandish towards woody, dry ending. So as it starts drying down, the booziness from the cognac and this Lornox, there's this woody and then cognac, the boozy cognac, and the bourbon vetiver. So there's a lot of boozy content components towards the dry down. So that thing starts popping up pretty much. Patchouli over here, I don't get too much of patchouli because I don't know, maybe it's there to support the other notes, maybe act up on longevity, or I don't know, give you a little bit of earthy hint as it starts drying down. But I get a lot of woodiness, and the booziness is very dominant towards the end. That's the kind of feeling that I got from this fragrance. Talking about longevity, this thing has got fantastic longevity. So if you go with like 5 to 6 sprays, and if you're in a cooler control temperature, and again, I had my shirt or t-shirt, whatever I was wearing inside. So the performance I got from here was absolutely stunning. Went past 8 hours, which is, I believe, more than enough when you're working in the office. If you're outdoors, you might want to carry a small decant of it so that you might want to reapply if it's a very long day for you. But otherwise, if it's the colder month, you're already covered up, you're already layered up, you spray on your clothes, maybe 1 or 2, you're done. You're all set for the day. And even after 10 plus hours, I was still catching the whiff wafting out from the skin and the clothes. So you could safely say this is a very good performing fragrance. The projection. Let's talk about projection. I got a solid projection of more than 2 hours. 1.5 to 2 hours was like the minimum. And it projects pretty loud. It's pretty loud. And just like the Siren song, it's very, very alluring. This fragrance is a very alluring fragrance. Now, story time. As you know, like I said in the beginning, that I got this fragrance without any box. Now, there was this one guy on this Facebook group. I'm not going to mention any names, but he was trying to hustle me to get a free box. Not a free box, basically. I offered him like, hey, I would offer you like something, maybe a little payment, and the shipping cost I will cover for that. How about you give me the box? He was the one who approached me first. Like, hey, I got a box for this particular fragrance. And this is what he says. Like, he was asking for a niche fragrance bottle in exchange for an empty box. Guess what happened? George Zaharoff reached out to me and just simply said, hey, Brian, check your email. I sent you something. And I was really stunned, like, oh, what? What'd you send me? And he was like, I sent you a box because I see you don't have a box. And I really want you to have a box so that your product, your bottle is complete. And guess what? This is what I'm talking about. This is the kind of connection George has with his customers, with the people he likes. Not only likes, like anybody, any person who approaches him. I mean, that's the kind of positive mentality that I see from his end. I mean, I was so stunned. I was like, George, you really did not have to do that because I didn't ask it from you. And he was like, Brian, I feel really bad because you have something which is not complete. And I'll be more than happy to see you happy because you would have a complete thing. Look at this beautiful box. That's Andrea, Curly Scents, and that's probably his boyfriend down there. She is trying to allure him, bring him closer, draw the victim with the Siren song. And that's exactly what this fragrance does. Perfectly matches the name and the scent profile. This is such a beautiful fragrance, guys. Anybody who smells this will be stunned. 100% safe. Definitely does not offend anybody, and it's very much safe to wear. Particularly if you're going out on a special occasion right now. Of course, this is special stuff. I'm not going to apply it like 20-30 sprays. I will definitely not be doing it because this is extremely rare to find. Imagine somebody asking you $300+ even with a level over here. So that would be really, it's a no-brainer to, just keep it on the side. Use it for special occasions. Maybe you're going to your friend's wedding, you're going on a date or something, on a special meeting. Go ahead, use it. 100% attention grabber, 100%. No miss on that. So guys, it was a pretty long review. I'm sorry about that, but I had to talk about it. Even in 2022, this thing is totally legit, 100% doable. And if you find a bottle at a good price, go for it. 100% recommended. I wouldn't say must have because again, this is a limited edition. You cannot have it if you want it right away. But if you do find it somewhere and someone's offering you a good price, go for it. Definitely go for it. So thank you for staying on my channel, guys. You guys rock, and you have been very kind and generous, showing all the love and support for my channel. And you guys have been fantastic audience. And that's why once I reach the 1,000 subscriber mark, I'll be hosting a little giveaway. So make sure you're subscribed. You hit the thumbs up button on this video and all the other videos that I do if you like the contents. And make sure you comment because we need to beat the YouTube algorithm. Remember, you gotta act as a team. So guys, please take care, stay safe, and all the best.